Hello everyone, it's Mel from Stocksbridge Guitar Tech, and I'm here with part 2 of a 3-part lesson for you on the CAGED system. Now if you haven't watched part 1 yet, please go back and watch that first, which was basically just about playing the open chords C, A, G, E and D, which spells CAGED, which is where this system gets its name from. But instead of playing these chords with fingers 1, 2 and 3, we play them with 2, 3 and 4. So we'll play an E like that, and a G like that, a D like that, A like that, and C like that. And what that does then, it leaves the index finger free to do other things like form a bar. So here's the E shape. Now we're talking about the shapes here, not the chords. That's an E chord, but it's an E shape as well. So that shape is an E shape and we can move it. So if, for example, I place that E shape here and then I use this finger to bar, I've got a G chord, G major chord, but an E shape. And these are the most common types of bar chord. So these are used all the time and we can move this around. So that would be a C, but it's an E shape because if we can see that we're not actually moving these fingers, they stay the same. Same with the A shape. There's an A shape and we can move that up here, put a bar on there, and we've now got a C major chord but in an A shape. There's the A shape there, there's the A shape there. We're just using this finger as a bar. Now the problem with bar chords is they can get quite tiring very quickly, and some of them they're not impossible to play but they're not far off. So for example the G shape, if we were to play a C major as this shape, we would move the root G here up to C here on the 8th fret. But now we've got to place this finger down as a bar. But the difficulty is we're not barring just 1 fret lower, we have to bar 2 frets lower. So like I said, it is doable, but it's very, very difficult and impractical. So that's what this lesson is all about, this part 2 lesson. I'm going to teach you how we can make these chords much easier to play. So let's dive in and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'd just like to say before I get into this that it is important that you know your notes, that you know the notes that make up at least the basic triads in pretty much all of the keys, or all of the main ones anyway. And it's also really imperative that you understand intervals like minor second, minor third, major second, perfect fourth, etc. If you don't know any of that, you don't know what I'm talking about, then please go back and watch some of my earlier videos, because you will need to know quite a bit of this theory in order to be able to use these shapes effectively. So let's get into these shapes. So a basic standard C chord is there, a basic standard G chord is there. Now we can play these G shape chords up here, so we can play a C chord here, but it's very difficult and impractical to play a C like this. So what can we do? We break that chord down into its component parts. So we've got same with an open G, we've got now. A beginner's mistake is that when we're playing chords like these, or bar chords, you think you have to play the entire chord. You have to play all 6 strings in this A major chord. Or you have to play all 5 strings in this F major chord. And you really don't. We only need 3 notes to make up a basic chord or triad. So by breaking these down, we can get from this, which is difficult, we can say, okay, I'm going to play this note, and this note, and then figure out for yourself what the easiest way of fingering that chord is, which fingers to put where. So we could just play the 3 lowest strings, 6, 5 and 4, and that's still a valid C chord. Or we could play strings 5, 4 and 3, which would give us this. It's still a valid C chord. Strings 4, 3 and 2, very easy, it's just the A shape, which we can play with a single finger. And it doesn't matter which finger we use. Can't do it with the pinky, but there you go. So we can use the index, the middle, the ring, the middle or the index to play that chord. If we put a C in the bass, you can hear that it's still a C major chord. Or we can play strings 1, 2 and 3, and we could play something like that. I'm using a mini bar there to bar strings 2 and 3, and then root note on the high E. Or we can use a bar with the pinky. Again, C chords. That's a C. That's a C. All of these shapes I've just showed you there would fit over that C chord. Now the one I love and the one I use all the time is this A shape. A because it's very, very easy to play, but also because we can make so many other chords by just moving a couple of fingers here and there from that one shape. So for example, if we had a simple 1, 4, 1, 5 chord progression in C, we'd play C, F, C, G. So let me just create a loop there. So we've got a loop playing there, C, F, C, G. Now I could play these mini chords. Okay, so what am I doing there? I'm taking that basic A shape, which is my 1 chord, if we're in C. If you're in a band and another guitarist playing the C chord, the bass player is no doubt playing the C root note, then this is all you need to play. And you're still playing the root note. In this case it's here on the G string. That's a C. So in this A shape we've got the 5th on the 4th string, the 5th of the chord, we've got the root of the chord on the G string, and we've got the 3rd of the chord on the B string. So we've got the 5th, the root and the 3rd. Played together to give us that C major triad. Now to make an F chord, which is the 4 chord in C major, that's the 1 chord, that's the 4 chord, that's our 1 chord. So to make a 4 chord, all we need to do is put the middle finger on the 2nd string, the B string, 1 fret higher, and then put the ring finger on the 4th string, the D string, 2 frets higher. And now if we play those 3 notes, we've got an F major chord. That would be the bass. And then for our 5 chord, which would be a G, we'd simply take that F shape there and move it up 2 frets. So we've got 1, 4 and 5. Very, very simple way to play these chords, but it doesn't stop there. So here's the 1 again. Now if we just use the middle finger on that 2nd string, we now have a C sus4 chord. There's the root. So just by moving 1 or 2 fingers from this shape, we can make a lot of chords. So to make a major 7, we'd simply take our root note, which is here on the G string, and move it down a half step. There's a C major 7 chord. If we take that index finger down another half step, we've got a regular C7 chord. Go back to this major. To make it minor, we take the 2nd string down 1 half step. From there to there. We've now got a C minor. And then if we lift the pinky off from that minor and replace it with the index finger on the G string, in this case at the 3rd fret, we've now got a C minor 7. If we move that index finger up 1 fret, we've got C minor major 7. Beautiful chord. So you can see that just by staying in this area here, we're not moving very far at all. We're just moving 1 or 2 frets to either side of this, and we've got C major triad, C sus4, C major 7, C7, C minor, C minor major 7, C minor 7, F, G. We've also got, if we put an A in the bass, we've got A minor 7, with the F shape, if we put a D in the bass, we've got a D minor 7. With the G shape, if we put an E in the bass, we've got an E minor 7. So instead of G, we've now got E minor 7. So it's very useful. There we've got the 1 chord. There we've got the 2 chord or the 4 chord, depending on what the bass note is playing. So that could be a D minor 7, which would be a 2 chord, or it could be an F major, which is the 4 chord. If we move up here, we've got either the 3 chord, which would be E minor 7, or the 5 chord, which would be G major. And then we go here, we've got the 6 chord, which is A minor 7. So we can get a ton of chords just from around this one little shape. I'll now show you another shape based around this D shape, which again is quite tricky to play like that, because we have to get this index finger down 2 frets. So another popular cut down shape that we can use is based off of the D chord. So if we take a D chord, move it up, say to here, and we would have to put then the root note 2 frets down. It's quite difficult to do. So what we can do is, well, we can either just play the D shape on the 3 highest strings. So that's actually a G major. That would be an F, E. So we can do that, but again, another one of my favourite cut down mini shapes is instead of playing this for G, I would remove the high E string, take that finger off there and play those 3, and to make it easier I would swap the middle finger for the ring finger, and then I would play this, which is just a power chord. And these sound great with distortion on. You'll hear them all over pop music, rock music. We can also form a mini bar with the index finger and put the 5th on the bottom. That's the root, G, and here's the 5th. So now we've got a 4 note chord. Great chord. Or we could just use those 3. We could use the 5th, 4th and 3rd strings. I like to play this chord like that, including the little finger on the second string. Again, great chord. So the idea that I'm trying to get across to you here is you take these shapes, the G shape for example, you visualise it, what it would be like to play the full shape, but then you just pick out certain notes and play those. Just play 3 notes. And you can do this with the E shape, with the A shape, with the C shape, but go away and practice these 5 caged shapes, C, A, G, E and D. Practice playing them all over the neck, and then practice picking the notes out individually and forming your own little 3-string mini chords. So that's it for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found some useful information there. In the last part, the final part, part 3, I'm going to be showing you how you can play scales based around these chord shapes. As ever, could I please ask you to subscribe, leave a like, a comment, a share, ask me a question. Remember to click the little bell notification so that you get notified when I upload new videos. I am going to try and stick to Wednesdays and Fridays for uploading. That might work out, it might not, I don't know. But anyway, that's all for today. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, part 3. Bye for now.